Yes, I'm a chair. I am suffering in agony. Please fucking help. Well, I'm free from the chair realm for now, and here to talk about a disgusting goblin bastard being Garlic Jr. You know, red garlic. We had yellow garlic before, and now it's the red form. This is the actual movie garlic. Well, you know, his henchmen are a lot more disgusting, and you know, it's red this time, so it might be pretty scary. Activate main, switch this card to rest mode. Play one red ginger, Sanzio, or Nikki with an energy cost 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck. When there's 7 or more Dragon Balls, a wish leader. Now we're talking. You get to add 1 Garlic Jr.'s ambition from deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. And yeah, the Dragon Balls have to be in the drop, but you get to flip this bastard over, and look at that. He actually isn't blurred too bad. This is crazy. He's got Shenron behind him, wishing to be immortal. Activate main changes where I can play a 4-cost Nikki, Sanzio, or Ginger, but their skills are going to be negated for the turn. Or I can choose 1 red or black desire card from my hand with energy cost less than or equal to my current energy and activate it for free. And then he also has his ultimate ability tied to an activate battle, so a little bit different than traditional wish leaders. You pay 1 energy. If your life's at 2 or less and you have 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area, remove them from the game and you can't take damage for the turn. Flip this card over at the end of the turn. I don't like that part very much, but hey, they're going back to making wish leaders go back to their front side. And let's just hope when you're using that ability, you can kill them the next turn, because if not, it's already game over anyway. But yeah, definitely one of the cooler looking leaders. Having a green menace go goblin mode with Shenron behind him, I'm down for that. So, wish deck, what are we starting off with? 7 Dragon Balls. We're not even going to pull them all the way down. There's 7 in there. Just believe me, there could be 14. I don't know. Into 1-drops. So these are the 1-drops you're playing on the front side. First, I got 3 copies of Ginger, Malevolent Henchman. You know, Ginger, he's got a literal 7 head. He is ugly. Basically, with all these Henchmen 1-drops, they have 2 abilities. So when they're played, if your leader is a Red Garlic Jr., you can either add a 4-cost version of the Ginger to your hand from your deck, or you may place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, search through your deck and your life, and you can grab 2 Dragon Balls, add them to your hand, and shuffle the areas you look through. With more henchmen, we got 3 of the Sanzio, so same thing, you can grab a 4-cost Sanzio, or you can bottom deck look for 2 Dragon Balls, and of course, the main man Nikki, you know, I don't know. Do you know? Because I don't fucking know. But yeah, same thing. You can grab that, and of course we have the 4-cost forms. We're flying through this deck list here. Ginger 2-sword technique. He's the upgraded form of the 1-drop. The 4-drops have permanence instead, which they all similarly share. Sanzio's a little bit different, but him is if you have a Garlic Jr. with Indestructible in play, this card gets plus 5k and double strike, and that's on both turns, so that's awesome. Activate main, limit 1 for 1 red energy. If you have a Red Garlic Jr. in play this card from your hand. He's 15k base. Next one, we're going to go with the Sanzio here, just keep it in the order of the 1-drops. This one's actually a counter attack. Limit 1, negate the attack, play this card in rest mode. If you have a Red Garlic Jr. the energy costs 5 or more and Indestructible in play, you may activate this counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. We do have a couple Garlic Jrs. that are under 5 cost. That's why we're only running 2, because we're not going to have access to him all the time. And then the final 4-drop being Nikki 1-sword technique, because, you know, I'm having 2 of him because he's a 1-sword, and 4 of the Ginger because, you know, mathematics, multiplication. Look at that. If you have a Garlic Jr. with Indestructible in play, this card gets plus 5k and critical. Same thing, limit 1 red energy. If you have a Garlic Jr. in play this card from your hand. Depending on where you are in the match, he can be decent, but most of the time I want that double strike. I kind of want to put as much aggression as possible. This is a red deck after all, and you gotta slam him with the spice. I don't even know if these ones are Spice Boys. I think the other ones are called Spice Boys. These ones are Gremlins. And of course, this isn't a Kaioken deck list if I'm not switching the mat constantly, because I do the top roll and realize, oh, I did it completely sideways like a complete jackass. But going into Garlic Jr. stuff now. Getting started with the 1-drop Garlic Jr. Dark Ambitions. So when this card is played, you get to add 1 Garlic Jr.'s ambition from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Activate main, limit 1, play 1 red Sanzio, Nikki, or Ginger with energy cost 1 from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So same thing as the leader's front side, but you gotta pay an energy for it. He's here just to grab an extra 1 of the desire cards from your deck, and that's why I'm only running him at 2, because a lot of the time you aren't going to use him too much. Next up here, we got Garlic Jr. Eternal Life, so the first 5-cost Garlic Jr. in the deck. He is weird because he was eroded. So the first time I played this, I actually played it wrong because I didn't know this card got eroded because I think about 47 million cards got eroded from the last set. But activate main, limit 1. If your leader is Garlic Jr. and you have 3 or more energy and you place 1 card at the bottom of your deck. That's what it says on the card. What it really means is a card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. Play this card from your hand and then choose one. You can either draw 1 or add 1 Garlic Jr.'s Ambition from your drop to your hand. A lot of the time, I'm going to grab the Garlic Jr.'s Ambition back because that is the main draw engine with this deck. I'll show you that card afterwards, or it'll make more sense. But auto, when this card is played from your hand, you get to play 1 Demon Clan with an energy cost of 4 and a power 15k or less with the skills negated from the game, and then shuffle your deck. So you're hearing Demon Clan 15k or less, obviously, these are the ones you're looking at. Most of the time, it's going to be the 2-sword technique just because I'm running more of them. His skills are going to be negated for the game, so that's why it's just like, it's still a 15k beat stick. This is where people kind of go in the Red King Piccolo route, where they're Red Demon Clans, and there's some there where I've seen deck lists like that, but I kind of went away from that with my build and went more just kind of straightforward with the Garlic Jr. stuff, but those lists are definitely cool. I'd recommend looking into that as well, too. I'd like to try that on the next iteration of this list. But you get a 20k, you get the card that starts your draw engine back, and you get to place a 15k, which most of the time you're going to be bottom decking the 15k from hand, so you're not really losing a card from hand. And talking about Garlic Juniors, here's the big bad boss monster, Garlic Jr. Invitation to Eternal Darkness. What a horrifying name. That's beautiful. Dual attack, permanent. If this card is indestructible, your opponent's battle cards and unisons get minus 10k power. Permanent. So just, they got a 10k unison, it's just gone because it's just going to continually minus it. And their battle cards is just constantly minus 10k. If they're playing a new battle card, still minus 10k. Auto, at the end of your opponent's turn, remove this card from the game, so gets sent directly to the dead zone, you know, ultra hell. Activate main, limit 1, 2 red energy. If your leader is red and you have 4 more energy, play this card from your hand, choose all battle cards other than this card, and they get minus 15k power for the turn. Red leader, that's why people are talking about this card in Cooler Mill, because you know what? It's not a bad fit. 2 energy, nuke the whole board, including your own board, because you don't really get the choice of that, but it is not bad. 30k dual attack as well on top of that. Obviously, seems really good in this deck. I'm going to let you know, this isn't the boss monster I usually turn to in this deck. In this deck, a lot of the times, I went with Son Goku and Piccolo, arch rivals fighting together. Deflect, double strike. When this card is played, choose it to one of your leader cards and gets plus 5k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So a bean for both turns. That's, you know, already that's really good. Activate main, limit 1 for 2 red energy. If you have 4 more red energy, play this card from your hand. Place up to 1 red Son Goku or Piccolo card from your drop under this card. Activate main once per turn. If your leader is red, you may place 1 card from under this card to the drop and switch this card to active mode. So you're saying to yourself right now, you only got 2 copies of that. What, you want to slide another copy of it underneath? I don't see any Piccolos in here. I don't see what the hell you're doing. Now this is where we go with our goofy ass super combos, and that's going to be the Dependable Warrior Piccolo, because hey, he's a Piccolo. Super combo, very simple, 0 10k all the time, and then if my leader's red and my life's at 4 less, when I call this card I get to draw 1. So that's why I'm using this Piccolo super combo, because I can just slot it right underneath him. I think this set also has a Piccolo super combo, but I saw him first, so he's going right in. As for Unison, we are running a Unison in this deck. I don't see it a lot of the time, but it does help the deck out a lot, and that is SS4 Gogeta Powers Connection. So most busted red unison that we have available right now. I think any red deck that runs 1-drops that's struggling, like Android 13, or even this deck where it's just kind of, I gotta play a lot of piss babies early on to just start the game. This guy really helps out a lot. Most of you guys know what he does. When you play him, you get to look top 3 cards, add a red card to your hand, bottom deck the other 2. He's got a +2 and a -4. His +2 is you get to play a red battle card, energy cost 1 for your hand in rest mode. So most of the time I'm playing this Garlic Jr.'s Ambition to grab a card. It's usually for free off him, or if I need to really find the balls on turn 2 and I have him in hand, gonna play him down, free play a 1-drop off my leader, and then +2 to free play another one, grab the rest of my balls, because there's no way that I'm not gonna have the balls by then. Balls, 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 balls. -4, this is where you can put on some pressure. This card gets plus 15k power and double strike for the battle. So 30k double strike off a Unison. You get floodgated with, like, say, Riposte. He can still swing for free, so die in hell. Okay, we keep talking about Garlic Jr.'s Ambition, and, you know, here he is. Let's explain what this card does, dog. I don't know why I can't speak anymore, but I lost that ability back in, Permanent. This card gains Desire in all areas. Activate main if my leader is red. Draw 1 card. Choose 1 red Garlic Jr. in my battle area. That card gains Indestructible until the end of your opponent's turn. Additionally, if this skill is activated by one of your red Shenron skills, draw 1 card. Simple terms, if I'm using the activate main on my leader to activate a desire card for free, I get to give one of my Garlic Juniors indestructible, and I get to draw 2 cards. And that's what you're going to do basically every time. Kind of the only other time you're going to use the activate main to play a 4 cost is when you don't have any of those anymore. Which, like I said, you can grab it off that, you can grab it off the 1 drop, and you can just pray to God that you don't have 3 in life. And look at my life.
Oh damn! Holy
They were all
shit.
in my fucking life. I literally that was the worst place to have them. Yeah, that's your main draw engine in the deck, because the leader does not draw at all. He either plays a card on the front side, or plays a card on the back side, or lets you activate desire cards for free. There's no drawing, so you really need this card. I would run it at 10 if I could. Now, on to counterplays. So, one of the best red counterplays in the game right now being SS Sun Gohan defeating the demon. Unique double strike blocker. Counterplay, if my leader's red, play this card. For the Z energy costs on Z cards in my battle area, or my Z energy, I get to reduce him by 1. So there, you know, we're gonna look at the Z deck and you're gonna realize why this guy fits in so well. And when he's played, I get to choose one of my opponent's battle cards, give it minus 20k. There's a lot of minusing in this deck, and he just helps out with that. As for another counterplay, this is one of our secret rares here, being Yamcha Merciless Barrage. It's limited to 1, so you gotta run the 1. Basically, if I have a red unison with 2 or more markers in play, I can activate his counter for free. When I activate his counterplay, it shuts off all of the counterplays for the turn, and I get to choose 2 of my opponent's cards, and I get minus 15k power for the turn, and then I play this card. And he's a 15k beat stick. Did I play him a single time? I don't think so, because, you know, it's a 1-of in the deck. You're not going to see him most of the time. But as for another 1-of that I actually saw more of the time is Beerus Ball. This is kind of your only like hard counterplay in the game, where it actually sends a card to the drop area instead of letting it be played. But if my leader is red and my life's at 4 or less, if the battle card being played has 15k power or less, I can send that card to my opponent's drop area instead. And if it's my opponent's turn, I get plus 5k on my leader. So if I'm using one of these on defense, along with using this the turn prior, I could be plus 10k on my opponent's turn. So I have a 25k leader. Pretty good defensively. With that store champ as well, I was running a side deck and I did have another Beerus Ball in there, and the Beerus Ball, yeah, definitely helped out in a lot of matches, especially against yellow where they were using a lot of Riposte or Vegetos. That was helping offensively, so I would recommend probably sliding into. Would probably be better than even running the Yamcha, just having 2 Beerus Balls, because I know anytime with the Dragon Ball list, the list's always tight because 7 spots are taken up by fucking Dragon Balls. But counterattacks. Floodgate time, Topo Righteous Aid, kicking it old school. For you guys that don't know what Topo does, you get to basically choose a card in your hand, discard it, counterattack. When this card is played, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they ditch 2 cards from their hand each time they want to attack. So, big boy, 20k as well too, which is nice. He gets reduced to a 2 cost in your opponent's turn, so if you're not seeing the right pieces, you usually will have a lot of energy up in this deck. So I find Topo's not too bad. But as for negates that are a little more free, testing the opposition, so another 2-drop, but most people are just going to take the life for that instead, spawn themselves a blocker token. Most of the time, this is the thing that's going to bring you from 5 life to 4 life, and then you can start using your super combos. That's honestly most of the times what I used it for. And Wolfang Fist. We got a Unison. Might as well use a Unison-free counterattack. Basically, if your leader is mono red, you get to choose the attacking battle card or leader card and give it minus 15k for the battle, and you can activate it for free if you have a Unison in play. Now, with this deck here, you're just like, wow, what kind of SC are we topping it off with? And what I'm saying is Red Shenron. You definitely should be running Red Shenron because I think it pairs very well with a lot of the stuff in this deck. Both boss monsters, I think, you work pretty well with Red Shenron, but I don't have Red Shenron. You could use Pan, but Golden Cooler. I'm going to tell you right now how Golden Cooler works in this deck, and that is, it doesn't, because every time I either win or lose, that's when I see Golden Cooler, either at the bottom of my deck or my final life. I've never even seen how this works in the deck. It's just in here for fun now, basically. I think it'd be cool, you know, if the game goes too long, you get to turn 5 or turn 6, you slap this down, you probably can put on enough pressure that your opponent just cries, but I couldn't fucking tell you from experience. So now, you know, it's a Garlic Jr. deck. We kind of really only have 3 Garlic Jr. cards. If you count Garlic Jr.'s Ambition, that's 4, but we're missing some cards to make indestructible, and that's where the Z deck comes in. So we are running 2 copies of Garlic Jr. Child of Evil. Deflect Barrier, Z stack 2, Red Garlic Jr. with a Z energy cost of 3. And then activate main, 1 red energy. If your leader is Red Garlic Jr. and you have 3 or more energy, play 1 Red Garlic Jr. with energy cost 3 from under this card, on top of this card in active mode. So, realistically, it's permanent. If he has Indestructible, he gets plus 10k. I'm giving him Indestructible. I can swing 15k, tap 1, and play this 3-drop from underneath him. So, deflect, permanent, same thing. If he has indestructible, he gets plus 10k power. If there's a Red Garlic Jr. card under this card, when this card is played, I can give something minus 20k, right? 20, there's fucking way too much glare, it's hard to see. And then activate limit 1. If my leader is Red Garlic Jr., I'm going to do this from head because I can't even read the card because it's too damn shiny with the sleeve there. But you get to tap 1 red energy. If you have 4 or more energy, you get to play a Garlic Jr. 5 cost from underneath it in active mode on top of it. And the 5-drop, this is the one where he starts getting Bazonga effect, so he's critical. Permanent, if this card is indestructible, he gets plus 10k and double strike. So double strike crit, 35k at full power. And then when this card attacks, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and give it minus 30k power for the turn. So they're using their token negates or whatever, you got one of these slapped down afterwards, you don't need to worry about them blocking because it's gone. Any blocker they realistically have would just be wiped from the auto, so it is super aggressive, especially if you're giving them indestructible. And now you're realizing, oh, they're both 3Z energy. Yeah, Gohan becomes basically a 1-drop as soon as one of those guys are on the field, which is awesome. Obviously the 1-drop doesn't factor into that, but the other 2 underneath, which you're not going to play Gohan that early anyway, most of the time. And to top it all off, because we can run 7 Z battle cards, Rush Attack SSB Vegeta, he's won me some games. You know, you see him in every one of my red lists. He's just too good of a card not to run. Realistically, he can push out 3 damage if he needs to. Most of the time, it's just going to be when my opponent has 2 life left. I'm just going to use the active main right away, so I don't need to worry about him getting removed during the battle step. But yeah, this is the Garlic Jr. you guys wanted the deck list for. I am liking the numbers right now. I originally had the 1-drops kind of all at 4 except for Nikki, and kind of saw too many of them. I could definitely knock down Ginger to 3 and add Nikki to 3 and have them even, but I find I always want Ginger more anyway. But if you haven't seen my store championship run where the viewers actually voted on and picked for me to play Garlic Jr., the link is in the description below. I don't know if it's going to be out by this video, but it definitely should be. I just made a Discord, so if you want to hop in there, shoot some memes, play some games, go in there. Subscrool, gabagool, and I like to eat leaded tools.